Hey there, Rebecca here with Vibe Mentor, here to share another tip on how to raise your vibration so that you can live your best life. Today I wanted to make a real quick video on the energy that we spend worrying about things outside of yourselves. So, are you aware of how much energy is put into policing other people, if you will? How much time do you spend concerned about what other people do? Are you judging them for what they do? Do you think that you know better in how they should live or act or decisions they could make? Do you find that you get annoyed or that you think constantly about how they're doing things and how they should be doing it differently? Do you allow the annoyance or the frustration to aggravate you? Because you're coming from a place of knowing better what is right for them instead of allowing them to do what is right for them. My dog just had a bath, so he's freaking out a little bit, so don't worry, he's healthy. He's just a little damp and not so happy about it, so a little entertainment for today. Yeah, I mean, if a good example would be if you have an ex and you've been broken up for a few months or even a year, and you're constantly thinking about what is he doing, who's he with, why is he doing what he's doing, is he treating them better than he treated me? That is a perfect example of how your energy and your consciousness is being pulled outside of yourself. And while I hate to say it, it might be time to mind your own business. Unfortunately, our society does not encourage us to focus internally. It is commonplace to gossip and to talk about other people and to be focused on everything externally, when really we should be focused within. So each individual person has their own life path. That life path is laid out by God before they come here. It is not our place to say what decisions, choices, or actions are appropriate for their life path. And if we are spending our energy telling other people what they should or shouldn't be doing, or even gossiping about them and talking about what they should or shouldn't be doing behind closed doors, we are essentially trying to play God. And that's coming from a very egotistical place. And while I understand that socially it has become acceptable to have this kind of banter, it is definitely not a good use of our energy, and it is most assuredly detrimental to not only yourself and that person, but to the collective. We are all equipped with our own inner GPS. It's our intuition and also our conscience. You know when you're doing something wrong. Nobody needs to sit there and police you and tell you. Now, you may be able to drum up a high level of cognitive dissonance and convince yourself that you're doing something good or that you're not doing something wrong. But in your heart of hearts, in your soul, you will always know what's right and what's wrong. And the same goes with making decisions for your life. You will know what feels right and what feels wrong if you sit with it and you listen to the cues and the messages and the road signs that you are sent. We need to trust that each person is on their own path and learning how to navigate these things in their own way. God rarely works in a straight line. He is not a linear God. It's a really squiggly road with a whole lot of roundabouts where we have to come back around and figure out why we didn't learn things the first time, or sort of reintegrate that 2 steps forward, 1 step back is a lot of the review, similar with planet retrogrades. That's why we go back and review things. And you'll notice if aspects happen in 3 increments, the first one can be pretty tricky. The second one, a little bit smoother. And by the third one, you're like, okay, I got this. Something about that number 3, hey? So we need to allow people to hit their head against the brick wall if they have to. And the unfortunate thing is, even if you spend the time and energy to tell them how they should be doing things, it's not going to matter. They didn't solicit that advice, so they're not going to integrate that. You may plant a seed and you may be divinely guided. There may be times where You get the urge to say something, and it's a one-off. It's not a frequent habit or a systemic brain pathway, a neural pathway is what I'm trying to say there. So yeah, we've got to stay out of people's way, because when we are telling them what to do, we are messing with their guidance system, and we're preventing them from developing their own intuition. You cannot change anybody who doesn't want to change. If they're not coming to you and soliciting the advice, 95% of the energy spent in that conversation or trying to convince can be either detrimental or harming them in some way. And I say that carefully, because if somebody's about to drive off a cliff, obviously you got to say something. So you have to use some intuition here. But we are talking about a majority of your energy being spent outside of yourself, and how that is not appropriate, how you need to be minding your own business, which means sweep in front of your own door, which is one of my favorite German proverbs. Let the man who has not sinned cast the first stone, essentially. You need to clean up your own house before you start trying to tell other people how to live their lives. I'm thinking of the Bible verse, you're trying to pluck a sliver out of someone else's eye when you have a log in your own eye. So make sure that you're cultivating your own internal environment and developing your skills and your intuition, and working on what lessons you need to learn, and then taking that out and being of service. So I need to clarify, I'm not suggesting that you are so self-centered that you are not aware of others. But again, this is a message for people who are spending a lot of their energy, a high percentage of their time and energy focused outside of themselves. We must honor each other's individual path. We must tread carefully even when they come to us for advice. We all have our own internal guidance system. Like I said, every answer that they need is within them, or should come through divinely inspired situations and events. If someone's coming to you for advice, that's excellent. They're open to it. Your energy is well spent there. The best way to approach assisting them is to ask questions, to get them to go within and to look for that answer inside themselves. Again, they have everything they need within them, and so do you. Asking questions is the key. Yeah, our role is to just hold space, to nurture their intuition, to be compassionate, to be comforting, to be supportive, to be encouraging, and to love them. Just to be present and to be with them. It does a lot for a person when someone says, I understand and I hear you, and I know that must hurt, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. You don't really have to do anything. Your love and your positive emanating vibrations in presence with them is healing enough. You don't have to solve their problems. You don't have to have the answers. In fact, you can't, and you won't. So the best thing you can do is ask questions to prompt them, to get them to start to look within and just love and hold space for them. Don't impose your perspective. And just remember, again, like I said, we're all one. Criticizing people, judging people. When you have a negative thought, I don't like that guy's pants, or man, that guy needs to learn how to drive, or, those people, they voted for the wrong political party. How dumb they must be, right? All we're doing is sending negative energy out into the world. And the only thing that we're creating is more negativity. We're hurting ourselves. We're hurting that person. We're hurting the collective. We're slowing down our growth and our ascension. So we absolutely must sweep in front of our own door, mind our own business. Yes, I am saying that we need to get involved at the community level, and we need to start to do things to correct issues in society. But again, that is sweeping in front of our own door. We're talking about casting judgment frequently here. So we are working on building our best lives and creating heaven on earth. And so part of that is minding our own business. So I love you guys so much. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon. Namaste.